Okay.
Yes, we did. We got
ready?
$200,000.
Can you hear me? Yeah. All right. Well, good evening and welcome to the Trophy Club Crime Control Prevention District meeting for May 16th, 2024. I hereby call the meeting to order at 5:15 with members present. We will take a quick roll call. Heath Williams is here. Fred Lohman. Here. Mark Bartles.
Here?
Christine Budvarhazy.
Oh, that was good. Yes, I'm here.
Royce Labor.
Yes.
And I understand Leo Daniels and Christopher McAllister are not with us today. We have a quorum. So our next order of business would be public comments. Do we have anybody, would they like to make any comments today?
There are no speaker cards.
There are no speakers, okay. Moving on, the next item would be to take appropriate action regarding the Trophy Club Crime Control and Prevention District Board minutes for June 20th, 2024. Can I get a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Oh, I'm sorry. June the 20th?
April the 10th.
Oh, this is.
Yeah, that was. Okay.
Yeah, April the 10th.
Okay, April the 10th.
I wanted to make sure I wasn't hearing things.
Yeah. It's April 10th.
Any comments or anybody like to discuss anything? If not, can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Yeah.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 We have 5 for, 0 against. Next on the agenda would be a discussion regarding fiscal year 2024 through 25 annual budget for the Trophy Club Crime Control Prevention District. Chief, would you like to make a presentation?
Yes, thank you. Vice Chair and Board, thank you for this opportunity tonight. This is a discussion relating to our budget for next year. So last year, we went through this process. We talked about all of our programs and budgeting and vehicles and all this stuff. So we're going to do that again tonight. So I'd like to jump right in and talk about our programs that this funding is specifically designed to support. So one of our biggest programs is our Citizens on Patrol. We have 2 parts to that program where we have volunteers and citizens volunteering to support us, and we put them through training through our COPS program. They go through the Citizens Police Academy, and then we have a specialized training class after that. And that program where they conduct general patrols around town, looking for suspicious activity. These patrols include checks on homes, businesses, schools, and parks. So when they're out there driving around, if they see anything or think they see something, they call an officer, and an officer goes and checks it out. And they just help us with that every day. They also help us with traffic direction, assisting officers in directing traffic at scenes of accidents, power outages, special events. These volunteers have contributed hundreds of hours of their time. And last year, they donated over 2,450 hours to the program. So that's a lot of time and a lot of effort, a lot of support. That included not only driving around the Citizens Patrol vehicle, which CCPD bought in 2017. They also help us move around our ghost car during the Christmas season, holiday season. I think a lot of you know about that program and see that car. You haven't seen it for a while because we sort of take it offline so people don't get too used to it. So that's our Citizens on Patrol program.
How many people are in that? How many volunteers?
The TCV has about 40 volunteers, but in the COP program itself, we have like 22 active members that help with that. So
That are trained, right?
that are
That go
trained.
through training?
Yep.
nice.
So, and they help out in the office and things like that. But this particular program is actually out in the field driving around. So, and if you pay attention, you should see that just about every day. There's somebody driving it day and night. So the next is our crime prevention and education. This is where we put the flock camera system. A couple of years ago, we were able to get that passed, and it's a camera system that is basically at every entrance to our town. And we added one more last year in this current year's budget over there by 7-Eleven to protect that parking lot. What we've done with that program and the way we've been informing our citizens is we do a transparency page and we update it every 6 months on the activity that the camera provides and our activity engaging with that data and how we've been using it. And that's on our website. And in the last 6 months, we've also added another column to that information that it provides, where we now talk about the cases it's helped us close. So the camera provides us, sex offenders, domestic violence warrants, felony warrants that are associated with a vehicle, those kind of things. So whenever somebody has a warrant or a restraining order, protective order, or a sex offender or a predator, their license plates are entered into the system. Every time they pass the camera, it alerts the officers that those people are in our town. They don't really respond to those, but we just know about them. But when an a warrant for a felony pops up, the officers definitely go check that out. So within the last 4 months, we've had 111 alerts of those types of events, and we've actually had 2 arrests in the last 4 months from the flock system. Last year, for the whole calendar year, we had 19 arrests for the year using the flock system.
So it looks like they're learning.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Don't come here.
it was meant to be a deterrent, and it's actually working.
That's what we want.
So last year, 37% reduction in burglary of motor vehicles. We got a reduction of 37% in our crime stats because of that system. So that program has worked out really well for us. So our home vacation watch program, that's another big one that most of the citizens in town really use. This program remains one of our most popular programs and is used daily by our residents. In 2023, we conducted over 6,108 home checks of residents that signed up for a vacation watch. So when somebody decides they're going to go on vacation and leave our town, they give us a call, they tell us they're not going to be home from day A to day B, and the officers check the house daily, the citizens on patrol check the house. So the house is looked at more than once a day, just to make sure that there's nobody there, and the officers and even the volunteers may even get out and pick up trash or a paper or a flyer that's been thrown in their yard, just to make sure that things aren't, left and people have an idea that they're not home. So that program is another fantastic program that the CCPD has been funding. Our next is our identity theft strategy and community training. This is the one we really put a lot of emphasis in this year. This year, the police department's conducted 3 classes, training over 60 residents. We collaborated with the Identity Theft Resource Center and trained over 60, we did 3 classes, trained about 60 people on identity theft. When this company came in and helped us do the training, and it's actually something we really do need in town. Our identity theft and fraud cases have dramatically increased, and this is exactly what this hit on, is how do people can protect themselves from phone calls, emails, text messages saying, you owe us money, we got you, those kind of things. So this has helped out a great deal. In next year's budget, what we're looking to do is to expand that, not only put on that class, but enhance that class to be more internet security and awareness. So identity theft, and then even more of what trafficking and other scams that are coming out to make it even more real time to what's happening in the internet world. So our school resource officer program is another big one that we have. We work hand in hand with the schools all day long. We have officers in both the high school and the middle school, and we rotate through the elementary schools, putting on classes. We're going to enhance that next year. This program also supports the tip line. So whenever something happens at a school or even in town, we can provide funding to the tip line and then try to raise that awareness up to try to get some information, and that's worked out pretty well for us. One of our newest programs that we've had for a couple of years, when Officer Voigt retired, we sort of lost his expertise in home security and inspection. So in July, we're sending one of our new officers to a course to get certified in home inspection. And basically what that's going to allow us to do is have an officer go to somebody's home, inspect it, and give them a certificate that they can give to their insurance company and maybe get an insurance reduction. and cost.
What will they be inspecting for?
Security, locks, cameras, bushes against windows, anything that would help the security of the home and crime prevention type stuff. So, and we're going to have somebody trained to do that. So, and then provide certificates for that. So we've sort of let that drop off our plate, but we're bringing that back. So it's a couple of weeks class they need to go to get the certification to be able to do that. It's alarms, going over your alarms, making sure all the alarms work at every entrance and exit, the windows. It's a pretty intense program. So, but it's something we haven't done in a while that we used to do pretty well. So that's just some of the most active programs that we currently have. I did provide you a list of all the other programs that we work on. I apologize, I just continued on there. Are there any questions about any of these?
Tell me more about the identity theft. How big of a problem is it? And you've seen a spike? And what's the process there? If my identity gets stolen, do I call you guys and what happens from there?
Yeah, so yes, it's a dramatic increase in our community that people are falling for these scams. I mean, as recently as we received a call the other day, an individual got a phone call saying, I just got called from the police saying that I have to pay this fine because they've tracked me on the internet and I've been going to all these bad sites and I'm going to be arrested if I don't pay this fine. And it's like, okay, so, but they had all of his information. They knew his bank accounts, they knew his online name, his
Because sometime he
IP
answered the
addresses.
phone, and they said, is this Mr. So-and-so? And he
Yeah.
said, yes, never say yes.
Yeah, no, that's just one. The others are, we've identified a bank account of yours that you haven't used in a while and it has plenty of money in it, but for you to get this money, you got to give us some money. As soon as you provide them with any more information than they don't have, they have a lot because all of our information is online. All of our information has either been stolen from companies, the government, it all exists out there. So, I mean, even if you go to DMV today, you have to give them all of your personal information, your passport, your social security card, and all of it's just available, and all the people on the dark side have that information, and they're using it to target us. So it was impressive to have 60 people show up for this class.
Yeah.
To sit through it and listen to not only what the scams are, but how to protect yourself. And the first thing you do is hang up and say no. They call up, like PayPal is one of the biggest ones. Hey, your PayPal account is overdrawn. You need to refund it, and here, send us, we'll walk you through how to do it. And the minute they get you providing them that additional information, another number or something online, your access online, you're done.
Yeah.
So.
And a lot of people do one thing that's detrimental for themselves. They have a password. They have
Yeah.
a password.
Right. Yeah.
I have a password, but I have a different one for every single account.
Right. No, that's true.
That's what they're brought up.
And that's what the class teaches people, is to use the dual authentication, where you log in and then you get a text message with a code, right? That in itself can save everybody if we just do that. Because they can have all your information, but if they're not holding your phone in your hand, they don't get that code. So, and a lot of them are smart enough now to call up and say, hey, did you get the code?
Oh,
So, because they have everything but that.
oh,
So, I hope that answers your.
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Thank you,
Brad and Keller there.
So, any other questions about the programs before we start talking about a little bit more of the budget? So these are all the programs that the budget supports. So inside the budget, we have training, we have equipment, all these things that support all of these activities. But one of the biggest things we've dealt with in the budget last year were vehicles, the police cars. Every year, we've been purchasing 3 police cars to try to keep our fleet as fresh as possible. The costs from 3 years ago, a police car cost about $30,000. Today, it costs almost $50,000. So over 2 years, our vehicles have gone up $20,000 per vehicle. That's just to buy it.
Is that what, that's not outfitting it?
No, outfitting's another $30,000. That's gone up about $5,000. So a car's costing us $80,000, where it used to cost us $50,000 to $55,000.
Wow.
So CCPD is limited to about $360,000. So in our current budget today, we went over, you allowed me to go over budget last year to buy a third car and also to renew the K-9 program. That's another big program ours, is the K-9 program. We retired Indy, and officially Odom started work yesterday. So the new K-9 is operational, was here yesterday and today, is working, and that program's going great. So most probably, we're going to wait a couple of months for the trainer, Sergeant Sullivan, and the dog to bond better and have a longer bonding period before we bring it out to the public and do any type of public event, because we want to make sure that bond is tight. So when he says stop, the dog stops. So, but the dog is very well trained. It has almost a similar personality as Indy had. So I'm sorry, I'm not using some of my slides. So this was one of our classes for the identity theft class. And thank you to Ms. Hawsey, helped out with allowing us to use the facility at their church. So that was one of the classes. And talking about cars, this is one of our police cars, and on the back, it does say funded by CCPD. We do have both Chevrolets and Fords. So I'm going to ask again this year to over budget for a car. I am working with Mr. Wright to fix this problem, because we won't be able to maintain this type of operation, because we're tapping into our reserves a second time. We were almost at 100% last year. We've dropped that down about 90,000 in this current year budget. We may not use all of that, but we are going to tap pretty heavy into it. But we still have about $150,000 to $160,000 in reserve. That number may be more active. I'll have to ask finance. And we do have April Duvall here, who's our finance director. And I forgot to introduce Mr. Wright and Tammy Dixon, our town manager and town secretary. So I apologize for that.
Yeah, and I'll just add just one thing about that, the funding for the third car part of it. So I am looking for, we're still in budget development on this town side, right, for this, but I'm looking for opportunities to move that vehicle, even in this current, in the budget we're developing for next year, out of the CCPD budget, where we know it can't be sustained long-term, right? So if we know that we have a need of 3 vehicles per year with our police department, and we can only sustain 2 cars every year, right? You know, at some point we've got to make the change. We might as well make it sooner rather than later for that. And so I'll be looking for those opportunities as I develop the budget for this year. That being said, at this stage, we haven't identified what that other funding source and strategy would be in order to fund that vehicle. And so the budget as of today includes the third vehicle. In this budget, should there be no other alternatives for that, however, just know that I am looking for those alternatives to be able to fund it, so that we create a fund that is sustaining itself over time and not relying on reserves to fund normal operations on a regular basis. Okay.
That makes sense, because it seems like a police car or police vehicle is a big ticket item that would go under the normal budget. Right.
Could be.
Yep. This is not about vehicles, but I had somebody ask me about our new dog. And they said, well, somebody came by wanting us to give money to help build a doghouse for that. And I said, really? I hadn't heard about that.
Yeah. So we did get donations from Halifax and they built a kennel at Sergeant Sullivan's house.
That's what I thought. I said,
It was
this is
completely independent of the town, and it was a donation from them.
But this has been done.
Yes, it's already.
And I knew it had been done, and I said, that's already been done to this lady. And she said, I said, don't give it to them.
Yeah, thank you. No, it's a fantastic facility for Odin, because he is a working dog. He's not a family dog. And so he does live in his own kennel outside. So it's very nice, though.
Yeah.
So we'll send you a video of that. So thank you for bringing that up. See what else. So looking at the budget document, any other questions on our programs? This is a list of our programs. National Night Out is a big program. Neighborhood Watch is, most of our neighborhoods are already signed up for Neighborhood Watch. When our officer is trained in the home security stuff, she's also going to be that officer to revitalize our Neighborhood Watch program. So, and that falls in line with National Night Out, because most of those parties are all revolving around that. So, anything?
Golf cart safety and inspection.
Yep, we still do that. So We don't charge for that anymore. So you're not mandated to get your golf cart inspected, but the council's allowed us to continue to inspect the carts and put a sticker on carts, and we encourage everybody in town to come here and have your golf cart inspected because it allows you to go to Roanoke. Our sticker on your golf cart allows you to travel into Roanoke, and it's free.
So do they have a policy where if you're driving on a public street, any kind of vehicle other than a bicycle, that you have a driver's license?
Yes, the state law requires that an operator.
Because we know that as soon
Yes.
as school is out, that's not going to be what's happening.
Yep. No. We're monitoring that and enforcing that. So that's why Captain Woodard's here tonight. So he handles that.
Now it's the little electric motorcycle.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the scooters, yes.
Tons of them.
But, so the golf cart program and inspection is to allow us to travel freely between here and Roanoke. So, and it's just a 5-minute inspection. All golf carts now come with all the state standard items, the reflector, the lights, all that stuff, and we validate that and give you a sticker. And it allows you to travel, to go to Walmart, maybe even further. So that's what that program's about.
And are you giving tickets if you see, kids that are not old enough or children that aren't buckled in or? Just from,
Buckle in is not,
buckled in is not required.
right.
Okay.
Yes, we do.
They do require that on vehicles.
Yeah, and most of the ones in town do have seatbelts, especially people that have kids. So, but they're not, it's an option. But we do see the majority of them have them.
That's been a federal law for a decade.
Not on golf carts.
No, maybe. Okay.
So, okay, so moving on. So this budget looks almost the same as last year with some inflationary cost. So I did drop down our professional outside services from 55,000 to 45,000 and reallocated some of that money for inflation. Our schools and training cost more, our qualification is costing more, just because equipment and supplies cost more. So that's why you see those increases in there. So we're just about a little less than $6,000 less than what we spent last year, or we anticipate spending this year. So any questions?
What do you consider small equipment?
Supplies for our drug analyzer, equipment like a new camera, new flashlights,
Oh, okay.
things like that, things that cars may need that we didn't really account for. So
You brought something up, our drug analyzer.
that,
Tell us about it.
the drug analyzer's been fantastic. It's a laser device. All the officers have been trained. We've used it at the school several times. We use it in the field, and we've actually used it for other agencies, and it's worked fantastic. I mean, Captain most probably has more real hands-on experience than I have with it, but the reports I've been getting, it pops immediately on methamphetamine, on codone pills. It doesn't work on marijuana.
Fentanyl?
Because it works on fentanyl. So yes, it's been fantastic. And it's been a great asset to our department, especially when other agencies see it. It's pretty impressive. And the school, working in the school is the best part because we don't have to go get a test kit. We don't have to handle anything. We just zap it in the packaging that it's in. So that's been the biggest reward to us for that, especially not having to handle stuff. So thank you for bringing that up. It's on my list. So anything else you want to add to that, Captain?
No, it's performing as designed. It's become known that we have that device here, and other agencies are asking for it. 24 hours a day, somebody will have a substance they can't identify, and they've heard that we have the tool to quickly identify it. They call and ask us to use it, so it has been really a good asset for us thus far.
Yeah. Well, when you got something like fentanyl, if the officer touches it, they could go down in a heartbeat.
Absolutely.
So they
And
don't have to open it. I like that.
Yeah, that's the key advantage to this is we don't have to touch anything. We don't have to open anything. You just zap it with the laser through the packaging and identify it.
That's great.
So, and because the test kits that we currently were using before, you could do 2 or 3 test kits before you find out what you have. So that's a lot of handling of a product. So we don't do that anymore.
Lawyers would love that too.
Yes, and it prints out an analysis right there for you, which we attach to the documents we send to the court.
That's awesome.
Chief, on the heels of that, I may have mentioned this in the last meeting, are the courts, are they accepting of the analysis results with the,
Not yet, but my understanding is the judges who sign the warrants, love it.
It's a presumptive test.
okay,
We still send,
you still send it to a
we
lab?
still send things to a lab that we intend to file for criminal charges, yes.
Yeah, but it's nice to have that document attached when you go for your, yep, nice. So
So it will be in the future.
we're hoping, it's just got to go through a case. Somebody's got to take it to court and challenge it, and then we get it through the system.
Get case law?
So, any other questions?
No.
Well, thank you. Close the item.
Yeah, we'll close that item, and the next topic would be just your general police department update.
Just a short little update. On Monday, the 20th, our 2 new officers start, which will make the police department the first time in years to be fully staffed. And I believe the town fully staffed.
Ah,
So we'll be at 100% on Monday. So thank you very much for that. It's going to be, I know he's excited as they go to patrol. So yes, that's the only real update I have. So on June 5th, when we meet again, we'll have a public hearing on the budget, and then we'll talk about the budget some more and then go ahead and approve it. And from there, it'll move to council for approval. So I want to thank you for your time tonight. And Mr. Wright, anything else you'd like to say, or April, anything I missed? Okay, that's all I have.
Thanks, Chief. With that said, can I get a motion to adjourn?
I move. Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned at 5:41.
Thank you.